Look, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys. We're just gonna cut the BS intro and get straight into this because this is very exciting. This is something that needs to be done, and we're gonna get into this. So today we are gonna be lowering the Mazda Speed 3 on some H&R brand new lowering springs. So in this bad boy package, you get some product information, some warranty information, and the bad boy springs themselves. So here are the H&R springs. So these two are the fronts, and then these two are the rears. These are the same height as your stock ones, but it is a different spring design to lower it and have a nice ride. So there's your springs. We're going to be doing those. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. What is going on? So like I said, today we are going to be lowering the Mazda Speed 3 on those H&R lowering springs. We're going to be lowering them on the stock struts and shocks. And before you guys freak out, I'm going to be doing a shock and strut spring combo this year. I'm not going to be doing coilovers. I kind of have to budget a little bit. Before I do start this tutorial, it's going to be full tutorial. I'm going to show you how to do the front and the rear. You guys are going to be really scared about doing this, but I want you guys to know this is easy. I want you guys to watch this all the way through and watch me. I want you guys to be confident in what you guys do with your vehicles. That's one thing that I always strive to try and, you know, get to you guys. Be confident. I know it's scary, but you guys just got to do it. So basically, you guys will probably have most of the tools needed. You guys need Allen keys, probably ratcheting wrenches, depends, and then just basic strength and a jack. You guys will need a jack as well, but other than that, and then also if you guys don't have a spring compressor, then you guys will have to get the front strut done by a shop, get the spring removed and also put on, but I have a spring compressor, so we're going to be doing it here. So let's get straight into it. Let's get the speed lowered up or raised up. We're going to do the rears first because that's pretty much the easiest, and then we're going to do the fronts, which we have to take the struts out, take the springs off, put the springs on, and then put it all back in. So let's get straight into this. So this is what the speed looks like on stock height. These springs are supposed to lower it about 1.5 inches, and obviously after I'm done installing these, you guys won't see the real height because they still have to settle after this. But I've seen photos and it looks like we're going to be losing about more than half of this, probably about 3/4 of the drop. It's going to drop about 3/4, so it's going to get rid of most of the gap, but well, obviously we'll have to see. So I'm going to go ahead and raise up the rears. We're going to do the rears first. I'm going to show you one side, and then we're going to go ahead and then do the fronts. We are under the car is lifted up. Make sure you have sturdy stabilization in case your jacks, you know, fail or anything like that. So anyways, basically all you really have to do are remove two things here. So you have your end links, so one right here and then one right there. Like I said, I'm only going to demonstrate on one side, so we're going to demonstrate on this side. So this is an Allen application, so you have to use a it's a 5mm Allen key that sits in there, and basically what you have to do is hold it. But I broke it with this, and then I was able to just twist this off. So I believe this is a 11/16, and then I was able to get that. I'm gonna have to use and then once we're done with that end link, then we have to take that off, and that's where we'll be using the jack to hold that, and then basically pull the spring out, put those two back together, and you're done for the rear. So it's quite easy. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So the one up top is a 14. Okay, so we cracked that, and now what I mentioned about the Allen key thing, go ahead, stick that up in there, stick that up there, and then you can go ahead and ratchet wrench this off. So definitely ratchet wrenches makes this a whole lot easier. But remove the top on both sides, and then the sway bar goes up and down, which makes that easier. So now the nice thing is, this size that got the bottom one of the end link actually works over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some WD-40, loosen that up a bit, and then I'm gonna go get my jack and then put it under there, remove that bolt, and then this will drop out, spring out. So you're gonna wanna reuse this top thing here. So yeah, there's the old spring. It's basically exactly the same size, but it's just the design that makes it go low. So let's go ahead and put this new one in. All right, so go ahead and take this off the top of your old springs, and then put them on your new ones. Rotate it on there, good. Now, when we're putting the springs in here, I can't really show you guys. There is a hole at the bottom, a big hole at the bottom right here. I'm sticking my finger in there. The bottom of the spring has to be sitting in there. The top doesn't matter as long as it's in there really good. So what I did, so I'm gonna line up the spring just enough. I'm gonna pull down this, and that's about right. So we know we're in position. Now what we have to do is line this up. And now this is difficult. It's easier with 2 people. I'll demonstrate how I did it on the other side. As you guys can see, I already have the spring in on that side. So basically you gotta line up once, get the bolt through, and then you gotta find it so that it goes and threads through the other side. It's a really weird system. So I'm up here and I take a crowbar and I'm able to use this rubber thing and pry it out and then lift this up to my perfect position as of right there. Then I can go ahead, take this bolt. Guys, I'm sorry, this is blurry. And I literally just slide it in right there. And I'm gonna go ahead now and try and line up the other side. I'm gonna put the end links back in. So in order to do this, what we're gonna do is try and line up both end links and try and get them in at the same time and just tighten those up. And then once we're tightening those, we're gonna torque these all down. So go ahead and torque this one to 75 foot-pounds. And as for the end links go, these are 29 to 40 foot-pounds. Now with the end links, they do tend to clunk if you don't do them tight enough. So for the top, I relatively know what it was before I took them off, so I'm gonna try and replicate that. And the thing is, these do strip pretty easily too, so I'm gonna start at 35. So now we are completely done the rear. We're gonna go ahead, lower it down. We'll go ahead and get started on the front. So I just got the front out from this side, relatively rusty and stuff, so you're definitely gonna need a big mallet and a lot of WD-40. Also a breaker bar. So I don't think these have ever been taken off, and knowing a lot of you guys have a lot of rusty cars. What we're gonna be doing, basically, remove a metal shim right here for the brake line, which is a pain. You have to remove this, which is a pain, which is another Allen key thing. And then the third one, you just have to remove big bolt right here, which you have to use a breaker bar a ton of times on. And then we also need to penetrating fluid this and then mallet on this so this whole knuckle comes down, and then remove the bolts on the top, pull this out, and then we can take the spring off and then put it all back together. That one actually came out a lot easier than the other one, which is awesome, and I'm glad that did. We are going to WD-40 the end link here, and I'm gonna hit it with a impact, pull that off, and then we can take this all off. We're gonna take the big bolt off on that side. This is gonna be fine. Oh, there we go. She cracked. Okay, so I finally got it undone. She's beauty. But as you can see, like it's so rusty and dirty, like it's reasonable. So now that that's done, everything's loose, everything's undone. So now what we have to do is get the knuckle off, or the strut out of the knuckle. Basically how I'm gonna do this and how Corksport did it was they hammered with a mallet. Other ways you can do it, you can put a block of wood on here and go that way, but I'm just gonna hit it here. Blast it with penetrating fluid, a lot of it. Just work it out. I'm gonna let that sit in there. The top one's off. Those are 14s. And now you can go ahead, just like so. So that's all done. We're gonna go ahead, compress these off, put the new ones on. Okay, so we got the new spring on the strut. Now one thing to know is when you're doing the top, make sure it lines up with the perch right there, and then also obviously the bottom lines up. Now when we're putting these in, this little tab on the bottom needs to go in between here, so make sure you just kind of got that lined up before you start putting it in. So once it's fully secure in here, we're going to be tightening the back bolts. Once it's tightened, secure it to 45 foot-pounds with a torque wrench, and then use a rubber mallet to hit that in place. And then our last situation is the end link. Okay, so battery kind of died, so I tightened this one up. I did the double wrench technique that I was showing you guys, just so you know it was relatively tight. So everything's all done, everything's all torqued and everything. What I'm going to be doing now is putting the wheel back on, torquing the lug nuts, and then dropping it, and we're going to see what it looks like and drive it, I guess, up and down the road. And there you guys have the car being lowered. Now one thing I have to notice, the front still a little relatively high, but it definitely does level out. So I don't know if that's just a thing with, like, you know, the stock kind of leveling sort of situation going on there, but Definitely looks sick. The rear is like, you can definitely tell it's been lowered. The front, like I said, you gotta wait for these to settle. They're not instant. So basically what you're seeing now is pre-settle. I'll definitely have a video maybe like a month later showing like after settlement of like lowering springs and seeing how low you really go. Like I said, the rears are really tight, and I think this kind of low is gonna look really good with the 350Z wheels. So I'm definitely gonna have to pull the rear fenders really hard, and we'll see about the fronts definitely. But overall, this looks really sick, and it definitely turned out nice. So I guess we can finally say that we've done something relatively fun to the car. Alright guys, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Comment, question, anything. I will help you guys out. I don't think I was having any clunking. I think I might be good. I just took it on a little drive, not a big drive. But the ride feels, I can't really comment on that stuff. This is more or less a tutorial. If you guys are watching this later in the future, make sure to check the link in the description. I'll probably have like a review on the actual springs once I, you know, drive them more often. But anyways guys, thanks to you for watching. Keep it real. I'll see you guys in the next one.